A warm welcome for members of the first Eritrean delegation to visit Addis Ababa in almost 2 decades. They're here to discuss peace overtures by Ethiopia that have raised hopes of a breakthrough in one of Africa's most stubborn military standoffs. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said earlier this month he was ready to honor all the terms of a peace deal that ended the country's 1998 to 2000 conflict. He suggested Ethiopia would be willing to give up its claim to disputed land, raising hopes of a settlement to a festering row over their common border.
Eritrean and Ethiopian people are brothers and sisters. Our relationship goes way beyond the border dispute. Peace between our two countries will be helpful to the people of the Horn of Africa and the entire continent.
Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki, in a surprise move last week, welcomed what he called Ethiopia's positive messages and decided to send his first official delegation to Addis Ababa. Former province of Ethiopia, Eritrea, voted for independence in 1993. Its separation from Ethiopia declared it landlocked as it broke away with the ports of Assab and Massawa. 5 years later, the two countries went to war not over the ports, but over the small and dusty village of Badme on the border and who it belongs to. How the two countries dealt with the aftermath of the war has had the most intimate impact on their citizens. Thousands of Eritrean nationals were deported from Ethiopia. Eritrea too sent home Ethiopians living and working within its territory, dividing families and ruining businesses built over a long period. Jonas Abraham, an Eritrean by birth, chose to stay in Addis Ababa and keep his job at a pro-government broadcaster when his entire family was deported in 2000 to Eritrea. Nothing prepared him for the 2 decades he spent away from his parents and siblings.
My father died, and I couldn't even attend his funeral. It was painful not to see my mother for so long. I'm so thankful that the two countries are finally talking about peace.
His brother Bereket, also a journalist, ended up working for the state broadcaster in Eritrea. He fled to Ethiopia a few years ago to escape forced conscription into the army.
It was strange to see two brothers on either side of the border spewing propaganda and trading insults over the airwaves.
Many Ethiopians and Eritreans are surprised at the speed at which things are now moving. The apparent easing of hostilities has raised hopes of a normalization of relations that might boost regional trade and lower tensions. Mohamed Ado, Al Jazeera, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.